Hi there, welcome to my channel. I'm Marlena from mjfengshui.com. Now, we all know that house hunting can be very exciting. I know myself, I am always looking at different homes. I'm working with clients constantly to make sure that they are living in the perfect place for them. Now, the first mistake that you could make, whether you bought a home before, or if this is your first time in a buying experience, would be to go in there blinded without any knowledge of feng shui whatsoever, or ever having a feng shui consultation with someone like myself. Now, the first thing that we want to touch on today is what I just said. Make sure that you know what you are looking for when it comes to the right house for you that will support you and your goals in the next 10, 20, 50 years, whatever you are planning on. Because some people move into a home knowing that they are constantly moving, so they're not really caring too much about the energetics of a house, so they rush into moving and they find out there are problems with that place. All right, they never checked out all the information, or there wasn't any listing about that. So then they find themselves losing money for the time they're there. So we don't want to do that. We want to also take a look at what your goals are. All right, working within your means, your budget. So you should get pre-approved. People that will go, and look at a home and go, that house looks very nice. It's in a nice area. The price is, it's a little more than I can afford, but I'll buy it anyway and we'll get another job or whatever. Then you're in stress before you even move in. Okay. That is another mistake. All right. So it's always good to work with somebody who will have your back, who will say, this is the perfect type of home for you. All right. Work with your real estate agent. All right. That is an agent that is actually working for you, not for their pockets. All right. Listen very carefully as you are working with a real estate agent. Are they rushing you in to buying a house by maybe saying, you better jump on this deal right now because we have many people, making offers on this house, right? That's a walk away to me. That's a no-no, right? I do not want to be rushed into anything, especially when it comes to such a large purchase, all right? And you individually have to really be alert to the description of the property, okay? So you need to know what you can afford, all right? What the taxes are, what the area is, all right? We got to look at the address. That speaks loudly to me. I can actually look at a home 99% of the time and say, no. I mean, I'm just looking at the house outside. All right. That's all I need to do. Sometimes I can feel the energy is not good. I can smell energy now. I will look at the house and go, no, it's musty, and then when I click on it, I find out it's been flooded. Really amazing gift that my, guides are giving me. It's increased now. Well, if you don't know, my background was, you know, um, intuitive as a child, very gifted. People would come to me and ask me, questions. And then as I got a little older, I realized, people are coming to me for a reason. What is the reason? So I must have a reason why they're coming to me. And then every time we would move, and we moved a lot, my family, for some reason, would leave me at the new place, the new apartment. and they say, we're going to get the stuff, we're going to drop it off, you set it up, clean the house, so I at first thought I'm like Cinderella, you know, but then I look back and I'm like, oh, I was being trained for what I'm doing now. How amazing is that, right? You never realize why you're going through something. Now, when I got married, he had all control, and as we grew up in my era, it was, the man was the one who brought home the bacon, most of the bacon, and they had all the say, basically. We had to obey like dogs. Thank God that has changed. I got a new attitude. I hope you do too. Um, and we were in this really cute little apartment at an end. I think it was number 8, if I remember correctly, in numerology. So it was perfect for us then. Now, everything was going great. I mean, awesome there. Everything, right? Now, we're driving one night, probably going towards his parents' house, whatever, and we see a house for sale by owner. Now, it is going for 8 o'clock at night, okay? It's getting dark. He pulls over into the driveway. I said, I don't like this house. He said, shut up, you're crazy. I said, I'm telling you, I don't like this house now. I knew nothing about feng shui. All I knew was the feeling was not good. He did not care. He rang the bell. We went in, and it looked like something from the 70s. I mean, it was orange. It was purple. It had green grass rug in the house, that hard kind of rug. Big flower wallpaper, like the dating game. I'm like, ew. The lady was there. Her husband was in their new home. And there was just a few pieces of furniture in there. And I just had this eerie feeling all over me, and I couldn't wait to get out of there. And he ended up talking to them, calling them the next day, discussing with them what he would pay. They were anxious to sell. He was anxious to buy. He went ahead and just, okayed it, got a hold of the lawyer and all that. I was just called into the meeting of the closing, basically. And it was not fun. And after we moved in, wasn't a couple months, I knew that the house was haunted. I went around and asked the neighbors, did someone die? No. What's going on? Whatever. Then I realized something's up. So I went around and I found out some more information. Lo and behold, I found out that the home was built on Indian burial ground. Okay. There was flooding, crazy flooding that you could not explain. All right. All kinds of stuff going on. Attempted murder. He tried to kill me there. Divorce. And eventually I just walked out. I did not care what happened at that house at all. Right. So, I moved down here where I am south and, just moved sight unseen. All right. I knew that just getting out of there, number one, was awesome. So where I am right now, it's a beautiful place, palm trees, sunny days, Yes, we have some wind and rain and all that. Everyone has some kind of weather. But for the most part, the house is sturdy, steady. I switch the energy all the time to upgrade my life, right? So when you move, right, we want to make sure that you move for a very good reason, not that you're rushed. Some people are like, I just want to buy a house so I feel good about myself. And, they like an ego boost. So we don't want to do that either, going blindly into a home. So make sure that you have a very good idea of what home is good for you, what's going to support you in your journey. You could be wanting to buy a house for the rest of your life. Then what I suggest, because I cleaned homes before, is buy a home that is 1 floor, all right? Because after a certain age, you are not going to be wanting to go up and down the stairs, okay? So that would be a mistake that you could make, is buying a home that has, a couple floors and the bedrooms are upstairs. No, you will need an elevator, right, to get you up the stairs. So we don't want that, right? Also, we want the home to be set up correctly, right? That is a very important issue that you should work out with a feng shui consultation, right, for your self and who's ever moving in with you. Now, here's a feng shui mistake you could make. Buying a home that is a foreclosure. That's a no-no. That's a red flag to me. Okay. Yes, it will be cheaper and all that, but you're going to find out why it was foreclosed on, what was going on, right? There's not going to write down in the description, right, how come it got foreclosed, why they were losing money in that home. Okay. That's just a clue for you today. Another home, auction. Why is it on auction? Right? Think about this stuff. So red flags to me. Red flag would be another no mistake would be buying a home that keeps selling over and over and over, or it keeps going lower, 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 lower. Right? There's a reason why, right? Or somebody had it pending and all of a sudden it fell through. Why? The next one we want to look at is a house that has, scenery that is, negative, such as if you were to drive up to the home and you go inside and you look out the front door and what do you see? A dump. That's just an example. All right. What is the energy coming at your home? Right. Think about that as well. So take a look at what's around the home. The next mistake I find is living near a cemetery. I'll give you that example. That's just one example. That's a mistake you can make. Um, so, just from my experience, living on, burial ground, not exciting whatsoever. Thank you. Not even living near it. Thank you. All right. Um, there are such thing as real spirits. All right. And there are dark, energies, entities. I learned very well, how to cleanse a home, right? That was the experience I received up in New York where I lived, right? Thankfully, the universe backed me up with a guru that came from, places where they knew how to do it. And they did it. And I actually heard the spirits leave by screaming. All right. They weren't, going out quietly. So I don't want to scare people, but I will tell you if a home has those, energies, you don't want to move in. All right. No one's going to tell you this house is haunted. Please buy me. Okay. We need to know. All right. How do we know? All right. That will come with a consultation. I can feel it. I can see it. I can smell it. All right. I can see it in numbers sometimes of the home, the flying star charts. Okay. And we are in period 9. And period 9 is very unique and powerful. You may live right now in a home that is, older, whatever, and you feel the energy has shifted in an area or two in your life, right? And you're feeling like, I got to get out of here. This don't feel good. There is a sign right there. All right. So the energy's off and we want to balance it. So you can contact me for that as well. Right. If you're not planning on buying right away, but you feel like you want to. All right. Maybe we can feng shui your home there and give you a better experience for a while. Right. While you're waiting, maybe for the funding to come in. Right. We still want to make sure you are, feeling good in your house that you're in right now. Right. Even if you're living in a one-room place, renting it with some people, I can feng shui the room with you that you're in. All right. To boost it up so you get better luck. All right. Better experiences while you're there. I know I deal with thousands of people. So we have to look at every bit of energy story there is out there, and you have an energy about you. All right. So we want to make sure that your experience with buying a home, all right, and moving in will be wonderful. Now, I know there's house flippers out there, go ahead and buy those, foreclosures and auction homes and things like that. That's fine for you, but I'm talking to the people that are going to buy a home, they have a goal. There may be people, downsizing a house. You want to find the right house, the right land, the right, energy there for you when you do downsize, or when you want to increase your size of your home because your family is growing. Will that house support a family of different energy people? We need to know that, right? You can move into a house, it's beautiful, it looks good, it smells good to you, it has great schools for the kids you're bringing up. But what if one of the people that are moving in that house is going to have a really bad time in there, right? They could lose their income, they could get sick, relationships could fall apart, that's what we don't want. We want to avoid those mistakes. How do we do that, right? By knowing exactly what's going on in the house that we are looking at to purchase. And why make a big mistake, right? When we can avoid it and find something better for you. So that's why I want to bring this video out today. It's very important to me to share this with you. Next one I'll share with you here. We'll be buying a home that is at the end of a road, like a T junction. So think about the letter T, the capital T. If the house is right at the top of that T, all the cars are coming right at the house, right? What's happening there, many accidents happen, right? So you don't want a house like that, number one. And you can figure that out. So don't make that mistake, okay? You will find that is going to be a very expensive house as well, all right? You won't get much sleep there. There'll be a lot of stress because all the cars are coming at the house. The energy is just coming, bombarding the home constantly, all right? Living at a dead-end street, to me, also could be a feng shui no-no for you, okay? If you are planning on, moving forward in your, life, business, job, right, getting promotions, right? Think about a street that has flow for you, right? That is some of the feng shui no-nos that I'm bringing out to you today. I'm not even counting anymore. I'm just sharing with you. I just put top 10 just so we got an idea of what I will be sharing. I'm sure I already exceeded 10, but that's okay. So, the mistakes could be costly, all right? We want to really look at what we're looking at, right? When we look towards the home, when we get in the home and look out every direction of the home, location and view. What am I viewing, right? When I walk around the outside of the home, right? When I get in the house and I walk around and look out every window, right? Every door. What is my view, right? If I have a wall that I look at when I look out my front door, to me, that's a no-no, okay? Like I shared a little bit ago. If I look out my door and there's a dump right there, that is a no-no, right? This area stinks, okay? Yeah, this is what it's saying. So I look at houses as they are speaking to me, all right, and to everyone around them, okay? Here's the biggest one that I'm going to share today for a feng shui no-no is to move in a home that is right near a cell tower, all right? Do not. If you can stand in your home and you can see that tower, don't move in, right? If it is within, a couple miles, don't move in, all right? No matter how beautiful it is, no matter if it's the right house for you, do not move in. The energy is trying people, right? Believe it or not, right? So think about where you're going to move, right? What you would like to experience in your life. So some of you are young, right? 20 to 40-year-olds. You are looking for a home that will support you in your business flow, right? Your job, you're going to be working either outside the home or in. Some and most of you will be looking at, growing a family, right? Some will say we don't want any children, but it just happens to happen. So be, aware of that. All right. It can happen anytime. All right. Especially when the feng shui stars are right for that. It will happen. All right. And you can do anything you want, but it will still happen. So be aware, be ready. Make sure you have a little extra, bank account put aside as well, right? Just for upgrades, repairs, always have that. Never buy a home where you're just making it, all right? Where you gotta live on edge, all right? You should be able to put some money aside while you're in that house, all right? And I'll train you how to do that in another video or even in one of my classes that I do have. But today, I just wanted to bring this out to you because it's important to me that you actually find a home that supports you and gives you a luxury lifestyle. And I'm not talking about being rich and wealthy and a millionaire. I'm just talking about feeling lucky, wealthy, successful, healthy, having great relationships with people, from all walks of life, right? Just having it so that you can, thrive where you're living, where you can afford your food and furniture. That some houses do, have a fully furnished home, or you can purchase the furniture there or pieces that you like, okay? But always make sure who you're buying it from, all right? Is it an antique, okay? Where did they get it from? Learn the story of the pieces of the furniture and the story of the home, right? If they are not giving you all the details, do not buy the house, all right? That's the thing. I want to know all the details of every place that I am going to, purchase or, say to a client, this will be good for you, all right? Because it meets your needs for your goal. It's good for your energy numbers, good feng shui flow there. Everything looks good for you and everybody moving in, right? Because some of you are one group and the other people are another group that move in together. So we have to combine the home so it works well with everyone. Now here's a real good one too. All right, you're looking at homes online, the photos, right? And you click on a house that you might think looks nice and you click on the photos inside, and what do you see? Clutter everywhere. I'm looking at these going, can you believe it? They are actually showing this clutter and wanting to sell this home to me. You gotta be crazy. All right. What is that saying? This house is a dump. All right. We dumped our stuff here. We don't care. Right. So the energy of that home is gonna be the same. So they'll take their junk out, I hope. And you move in, right? Going, well, when their junk is gone, I can move in here and I'll clean it up and hold it. That energy is still there. So lo and behold, it won't be long before it looks like a dump too. And you will not mean to do it. So think about that, right? The house was not cared for, right? The energy is still there, all right? Think about that. Why would anyone think that they could get my money when their house looks like that? Okay? Yeah. It's just, yuck, all right? I can't even explain it to you. Now, make sure that you are doing your homework now. I know that I gave you at least 10 great mistakes that people are making. They're just buying homes, all right? Just wanting to move. They have that energy now because of the fire energy. Move, do this, hurry up. Wait a minute. Stop and ground yourself and breathe. I am not in a rush. I will not be rushed or pushed into the biggest investment of my life. Okay. Maybe you bought a home before, you know the experience. You know, the closing is not fun with all the paperwork, but when it's done and over and you have the right place to live, everything is wonderful, right? But when it's done and over and all the stuff is adding stress, not a good buy, right? We don't want the stress. We want peace. We want joy. We want harmony. We want flow. We want the chi to be flowing for you and your family, all right? For all the time you're there, all right? Yes, there will be, you know, things that need to be repaired along the way. That's normal. So, you know, make sure that you have looked into what the insurance cost will be as well. All right. If you happen to move into a home that needs, you know, it's in a flood zone, you are going to want to know what the cost is for flood insurance. All right. Look at these things that people are not looking at when they buy a home. So I want to share this all with you today. There are probably a million things I could share, but I'm not going into all of it. I just gave you a little briefing of what to look out for and to actually, you know, alert you to the mistakes that you can make, all right, without working with a feng shui consultant such as myself, all right. I just want to share this with you for those of you that are about to buy a home, or maybe you did buy a house and you would like, you know, some feng shui consult for that space you're in right now, right? So either way, reach out to me at mjfengshui.com. It's on the homepage. You scroll down, you'll find the link to hook up with me. We'll connect. We'll get together and we'll work this out for you and, you know, your loved ones as well. Share the video with them. People you know that could benefit from this information before they make a mistake as well, right? There's so many things that I could share right now, but I'm going to let you go today and write down some notes for yourself, what you're actually looking for, and then reach out to me. We are going to be starting my radio channel real soon. So if you're not on my mailing list, go to my website. The link will be under here. Get on the mailing list so that I can reach out to you and invite you to come and listen in, invite you to raise your hand and speak one-to-one with me. And when I have guests, you'll be able to speak with them. Isn't it amazing what we can do now with this beautiful technology? If you haven't subscribed to my channel, do so now. If you like the content here, press the like button. If you have any questions, type them in underneath the video. I will reach back to you and answer you right here on this video. You'll get an email alert. It might be in your promotions that I answered you. So, you know, make sure you check them out every couple of days. As soon as I get your email question to me, I will answer you back. So have an awesome day. I know you will because you are awesome. You are absolutely amazing and you are worth it. Join me here. Have an awesome day. Bye for now.